Hi, it's Jonathan from Pet Massage with Ilaria and Camille, my teaching assistants, and today we're going to talk about doing massage with dogs that limp. All right, today we're going to be talking about working with dogs that are exhibiting a limp, and a limp is caused by pain. Pain is a wonderful thing in the body. It signals the body that it's time to do some internal healing. It is the result of inflammation in the joint, and what happens is when there's an injury in the joint or a buildup of toxins in the joint, then the white blood cells in the lymph will kind of move into that area, fill up the joint capsule with fluid, and the fluid puts pressure on the nerves in the joint, which causes a reduced restriction or reduced movement because every time you move, it causes pain. And so what you do is you reduce your movement, and that gives the body a chance to heal. So like if I were to hurt my ankle, I would put less motion on let's say this is the ankle that's hurting or my foot's hurting, I will walk like this with less weight on the heel just to give it a break. But if you notice here, as I step like this, I'm putting more weight on this leg. And that's what we're going to be talking about here. So it's going to be compensation of the rest of the body that's working really hard to take care of the part of the body that's resting. There are different kinds of pain. If the pain is visceral, which means it's in the organs, then the body will kind of curl around that organ to give it a sense of protection. In the same way that if you have a tummy ache, you're going to lean forward and hold your belly, okay? So that's not the kind of pain that we would be talking about in which the dog curls their body around. We're going to be talking about essentially the pain in the joints. If the Ilaria has a pain on this paw here, she's going to shift her weight over onto this leg. So you can see that it's actually contorting her body here so that her diaphragm is in a different position for breathing. Her ribs are pushed over, so the lungs are being pushed over on one side. She shifted her weight over onto the one hip. So if she did this for a prolonged amount of time, then she would actually change her conformation. The muscles on one side would become larger, the muscles on the other side become smaller. Her face could actually get a little twisted, and the bone formations can change. If she's constantly going like this, then if she's like this, and she has to see an even rate, what's going to happen is her eyes are going to like balance so they can see straight, and she's going to look really weird. So eventually she's going to, if she does ever right her head, she's going to look really strange. So what we want to do is, the first thing we're going to look at with a dog who has an injury is going to be their conformation, or the shapes of the muscles and their gait, because obviously they're going to be limping, so we get an idea of where the injury is. And we want to get a sense of what that stress tract is going to look like. Where is it going? If she is having a problem with this leg, what other part of the body is going to be affected? So there's a way that we can kind of predict that. Can you stand up for me, baby, rather than chewing on Camille's ear? Okay, so if there's an issue, say in the paw, there's kind of a rule of thumb, a rule of Duclaw, in which we skip a joint and go to the next one. So if it's an issue in the paw, we're going to skip the carpus and go to the elbow. That's what's going to be being affected. They're going to skip the shoulder and go over to the opposite shoulder or up to the neck. And then we're going to skip the side of the face and go over to the side of the nose. And so you can see it's kind of a zigzag pattern that goes around the dog, here to here to here. So it goes from corner to corner also. So if there's a stress here in the shoulder, it's also going to manifest a stress over in the opposite hip. From that hip, it's going to go all the way, skip the hip and down into the stifle. I know it's really confusing. So what actually happens, because of the numbers of the bones in the dog are odd, that means that as we go back and forth, zigzagging across the dog, once you come back, you're going to end up doing a full body massage on the dog, which has some real benefits, because the stress tracts not only go from the area of injury to the compensating joint, it also goes from the compensating joint back to the area of injury. So as we go over the entire dog's body, we're not missing anything. Everything is going to be affected. So if I have a dog that presents himself to me with, say, a sore shoulder, I'm going to work much more than just that one shoulder because the whole rest of the dog's body is compensating. So we'll start here. I'll just include that shoulder in with the rest of the body. So from the shoulder, we'll work down, over, or from the shoulder, back across here, and down. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'll be doing all of the traditional types of massage that we would normally do. So that would be like frictioning, skin rolling, joint mobilization, compression, percussion, all kinds of things that we're going to be doing with the dog's body. So a full body massage. Now, of course, the area that's injured, we're going to be much more gentle. So we can kind of place your hands over here and breathe into it and allow your core energy to kind of radiate positive chi into that space. So we have an issue with an ear here. So I'm going to sit here and watch to see if Ilaria finishes off this ear and then comes over to this eye, which is a zigzag pattern. And then from this eye over to this nostril, and from this nostril down over to this side of the jaw, from that jaw to the shoulder, from that shoulder back over to the hip, and gives her a full body massage lick. I think that would be pretty funny. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our website. If you have any comments, I'd like to read them. If you have any requests for information or things you'd like to see, send those to me as well. You'll find lots more information on our website, and I'll see you next time.